not there yet. We don't have Jim for a point, do we?
Oh, do I have to point?
Rachel will be the pointer.
All right. Ready? 1, 2.
Welcome to the Meyers Jewelers Experience, and I am Jeff from Meyers Jewelers. Morris is here to my right. Oh yeah, there's no Jim.
Yeah, Jim is absent.
Jim is absent, but we had Rachel giving me the point, didn't you? Yes. Oh, she gave me the finger. She's not as good at it as Jim does. He does it with just ferocity.
She's much younger and experienced, but she did the job today.
She did okay, so we'll commend her on that. But it's good to be back for another episode of the Meyers Jewelers Experience, and I love talking jewelry and other things.
Well, I think you should get the other things out because I'm sure you don't want to withhold how last Sunday went.
Last Sunday. Oh, yeah, last Sunday. That was the Columbus Blue Jackets beating the New York Rangers. And for all of you that listen to this show, the thousands and thousands minus thousands, which equals about 10.
So, yeah, we're 18 now.
Yeah, 18, that's right. Morris here is a big Rangers fan, and it was very enjoyable to beat them.
Yeah,
you guys did okay. You did okay.
It was 2-2, but to have you and Pete Fingerhut from the zoo constantly look back when the Jackets were scoring, it was a little deflating.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a good victory. Jackets got 3 in a row going. Playing the New Jersey Devils tonight, which is not Sunday when this will be on the radio, but those of you listening, out there will be able to know that the Jackets play the New Jersey Devils tonight.
Do you want to make a call on it like you did before we left in December? You were making a call and you were predicting some victories, and then it didn't work out. I want to know your call on the New Jersey game. People will know by Sunday.
No, the Jersey Devils, we're going to win that game, and we're going to win it 4-1.
Oh, nice call. I'm telling you, we still should have that thing like picking against Jeff.
Yes, we're going to do something like that.
And people should get a
that
gift
would
card.
be good. Yeah, I agree. That would be good.
Yeah.
Give away a gift card. I actually got to go, which was great last week, to see the Blue Jackets play in Tampa. That was awesome. And I have stayed good friends with Coach Todd Richards, who was the former coach for the Columbus Blue Jackets. And he is now coaching over in Tampa. So we had dinner the night before at a very, very cool, awesome steakhouse called Burns Steakhouse.
That's a big place down there.
In Tampa. And it was really cool. They have, at the end of the meal, this is really neat. You eat your meal, all right? And you're in, whatever room. They have 8 different dining rooms to eat in. So you eat your meal, and then they go, would you like dessert? And we said, yes. And they go, okay, we'll bring you your check. You pay your bill. Then, when that's all done, they take you upstairs, and there's a dessert room. And then you get put into a private room. There's all these little squared-off private rooms, and you sit in your own little private room, and you order dessert, coffee, after-dinner drinks, whatever, and then you eat there for dessert. Then, when you're done, they take you on a tour of their wine cellar. Now, I'm not a huge wine guy. I like it, but, you could give me Boone's Farm, and you could give me...
And a straw.
Or whatever, and, I'll go, this tastes good. But, so they have the world's largest collection of wine in the entire world.
Oh, my kind of place.
So they have on premises over 100,000 bottles of wine. Off premises, they have over 500,000 bottles of wine that this place has accumulated. I think they've been around 70 or 80 years. They have one bottle that costs them $40,000. And they are not, they've had it now for, I think it's been about 10 years, something like that. They're not allowed to open it for another, I think, 40 years because it just won't be ready. And when, all part of the deal from the winemaker that they got this at is when they open it, they send in whoever the expert 40 years from now will be, to come in, open the bottle, pour it. They want to film it, have the whole thing, and that was all part of the agreement. And it would part of the 40,000 was this huge silver like decanter that's on a swivel that the wine will be put into and poured out of that.
Wow.
All for this one bottle. And they had it on display there. It's pretty cool. So somebody 40 years from now is going to spend 40 grand on a bottle of wine.
I hope that restaurant's still open.
And oh yeah, they've been there, like I said, like 80 years, and it was packed. It's packed every night of the week.
I went there.
You been there?
I've been there.
It's
10
awesome.
years ago, my sister had like her. What do you call that? The night before the wedding, you have like your
Rehearsal dinner. Yeah.
And we walk out, and the table right outside one of those private doors was John Gruden when he was coaching the.
Oh, okay.
And he saw everybody's kind of dressed up, and he came in. So some of my family from Puerto Rico had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
Like, what's the big deal here? But like everybody else, he took pictures and everything else. It was a really cool place.
Yeah, we were sitting there. I was sitting there with Coach Richards, and Jeff Rimmer came by, sat at the table, and Jody Shelley was there eating. He came by, sat at the table, hung out. So it was we had a good time. It was fun.
So you fulfilled the Blue Jackets end of this thing. I got a question for you. I told you on the phone yesterday.
Oh yeah. What?
You do love to talk jewelry, but I asked you, do you know the history of where engagement rings, the crazy?
You asked me that question, and I have zero idea. Can you believe that? I am a jeweler for life.
But I think most people wouldn't understand why this.
And I have no idea how the engagement ring first started.
The trend started in 1938, and the deal was during the Depression. So I have this all written down because I know that you'll doubt what I'm saying.
I do doubt it, but I'll listen.
So after the Depression, after the war, Harry Oppenheimer, the De Beers founder's son, recruited an ad agency, which was called N.W. Ayer, to put images of diamonds around the United States in magazines and trade publications. And the deal was they had found these mines in the late 19th century in South Africa, which
Correct.
we talked about.
We've talked about it.
And what they wanted to do was create this idea of there was scarcity if you didn't get it. Because, again, it's not like today we can order anything off the internet.
Correct.
It was showing these pictures and saying, if you really love where the campaigns of, for 3 months salary, all that, those campaigns came from this. It was, if you really love this woman, if you're making a commitment, this is the way to show her to do it.
Oh, so that's how it started. And it worked, obviously.
Well, yes, because during the Depression, you have to think about people weren't really making money.
Yeah.
But
just think of all the women. Rachel, let's see your. Oh, well, I forgot. It's
please.
Rachel. Sorry.
That wine is going to get.
Now.
Yeah, that wine is going to be open before she's going to get a ring.
Yeah, maybe that for your rehearsal dinner, finally, you'll be able to take a sip of that wine there 40 years from now.
What the other part of this that was interesting is because it's the Depression, the cost of the diamonds were so low. So it was, if you could afford it in the high society, people would get it. And it's kind of like we talk about trends in on the coast, the East and the West Coast. Those kind of people set the trend of, oh, this is a big deal. You better do this. This is the establishment way to go. And the advertising campaigns are what kind of kept pushing this forward, which we still see today. When you see a K Jewelers or any of those other people, it's about love. It's about investment. This is a lifetime opportunity. But it all
We're a business that deals in love.
That is true. We did watch the Meyers Jeweler commercial at the Blue Jackets game, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. Finest ice in town.
Yeah, was that on?
Yeah, it was on.
During the Rangers game?
Right before. So there's about 5 minutes to go, and the commercial came. It was right before
Where was I?
behind. You were welcoming guests into the suite.
Oh, okay. I missed it. Oh.
But it was cool to see it because I had never seen it in the arena.
Yeah, it's a big screen, isn't it?
And Doobie was...
Doobie! Yes.
But it's no different than the ad campaigns that kicked this all off. The question I have is...
Yes, what's your question?
You love advertising. So
yes,
now
I
that
do.
You know this. When you were originally, your dad starting the business, and then you were kind of doing the marketing, what was your kind of overall feeling about the message you were putting out there? Because anybody can say it's based on price, it's based on quality. You guys never really did that. It was more the emotions of buying the stone.
Yes.
And some hockey.
Yes. I'm not sure of the question.
What I'm saying is, when you first took this over, again, you didn't know. Most people don't know this started in 1938.
Correct.
It was an ad campaign. When you're marketing something to the public, you have to capture the emotion of what that is. So you had to kind of have that in mind. It wasn't like come in and it's not like a tire deal. Buy 3, get the 4th one free.
No, which a lot of stores will do that when they go purely based off of price. But like you said, yes, we like to work on the emotion of it, and which is why I think we build our ad campaign around it being a family business and being in business for 52 years. You must like what you're doing if you've been successful for 52 years doing it. Also, the trust factor, we like to build that as a family business. We feel that, and if you read reviews and all that, they'll reflect the trust factor on it, because a diamond is something, most people don't really know much about. I think I've gone into it maybe before. Excuse me, I used to coach Special Olympics.
No, you haven't talked. I know that, but you've never talked.
Yeah, so I used to coach Special Olympics, and I did in the spring track and field, and then in the winter I did basketball, which, by the way, my friend Randy Sokol and I were the coaches for the men's basketball team, and we won the state championship. What do you think of that?
That's
State
impressive.
Champs. Played at Ohio State University for the state finals and won it, which was awesome. But track and field, I met a young lady and who was in school, because the track and field dealt, a lot of them were kids, and she went to South High School, and the teacher, somehow the student was talking to the teacher or whatever, of how, I became friendly with her. And the teacher called me and asked if I would come into the class and teach the kids how to buy a diamond, because she felt that is something that literally everybody does, or almost everybody will go out somewhere along the way to buy a diamond. And look for an engagement ring, and most people have no idea how to do it. So I did that for a lot of years, and I would go in there and teach these kids how to do it, and hopefully it worked as they got older. But I found it to be a pretty interesting thing that on buying a diamond, a teacher felt it was important enough to actually take up a full day of class for me to teach it.
Well, it is one of the things, like, you don't make that purchase, hopefully not that many times in your life.
Right.
You're going to buy, 4 or 5 cars over a 20-year period, but if you're getting married, that stone really means something. And it's not just the price point of it, it is the quality of it. It's when you're giving to somebody, it's a reflection of how you feel about them, right? So you better know what you're doing, because you don't just kind of throw it together.
Correct. Takes a lot of thought, a lot of planning, money saving, all sorts goes into that.
But when you're teaching somebody about it, you have that in the back of your head as well, don't you? I mean, you're thinking of that consumer, their unique situation, right?
Yes, that's why I always kind of try to find out where they want to spend, if they have an idea, just so that they can stay within the price they want to stay around.
I've seen so many people ask that question so you can kind of put them like in a ballpark, and they go, I have no idea. And I always think there's going to be one time you're going to go, oh, I don't know how to help you. And you go, okay, let's break this down. And then you go farther and do the actual education of the stone, the cut, the clarity, and everything else. And I've told you, that's my favorite thing to see is when you do that demonstration.
Correct. But I got sidetracked earlier.
Sure.
I wanted to talk about when I was at Universal Studios last week.
Do it.
In addition to going to, where are we at on break?
You're
we
good.
okay?
You can go.
All right, so just to break up the boringness
The monotony of talking
about the history of an engagement ring. I did fall asleep twice. Anybody out there, if you're driving, wake up. This will be better.
It's It's my fault.
This will be better. I am a huge fan of rides. Love rides. My favorite park to go to, other than Cedar Point, but that's all roller coasters. You ever go there? Mm-hmm. They're fun. Is Universal Studios. You ever been, either of you?
I have not.
No, you would know if you had been there. The rides are so cool because I met my oldest son who lives in Miami. He drove up to Tampa, so we went to the ball game, and I told him, I go, well, we're going to go to the game, the hockey game, but before that, I want to spend 2 days in Orlando, which is close to Tampa, and go to Universal Studios. That was a ball. Reason why I love Universal Studios is the rides are 4D. Not 3D, but 4D. So you get into a ride. They actually move like they're on a track. And you'll wear 3D glasses. So you literally, like one of them is the Spider-Man ride, where you literally feel like you're flying around in the air with Spider-Man. And it is just a blast. So there's a Transformers ride, same way. They're great. So they have a new one. It's not that new now, but it's one of their newest. For those of you that like Harry Potter, they have a whole Harry Potter land. So they have 2 rides, and one of them is where you're on the broomstick. Mm-hmm. You know how they fly around and play that game and do all that? You literally feel like you're flying around with Harry Potter. He's in front on the screen, and the car you sit in actually moves, and it was just a ball. So I highly recommend Universal Studios. Loved it. It was a blast. Great rides. They even had some roller coasters. The Hulk coaster, that's open now. So that was fun. So
I was curious if you saw where they were building the Millennium Falcon. They have the entire.
No, that is nope. That's Disney.
Oh, okay. I thought they were putting it down there.
Nope. That's Disney. They just built Universal Studios. Just built Skull Island. So they have a King Kong ride, which was kind of cool. And there again, you're in a moving vehicle, and the screens are on both sides of you. The top's covered, so it looks like they're fighting. Like Kong will be fighting these creatures that were in that movie, and they'll like fly over the car, and then you'll see them on the other side, and like you'll feel them land, and it shakes, and it's very realistic.
I don't even know why we tried to talk jewelry. We should just talk.
Very
about
cool.
Jeff's travels are better than anything we could talk about.
But that was all in just 5 days, so that was fun. All that.
We'll cut us the break right now.
We're going to break. Okay, then we'll come back and talk jewelry.
That's right.
All right, so we'll be on break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy the commercials.
All right, and then we'll just start right back up.
That is funny that you said the thing about people not knowing engagement rings, because I just said to him yesterday we should go in the store and make a video of how to do that.
We wanted you, so if Rachel was talking to you, we want to get a video of how you walk people through it, like the education part, to share it on social media and all that stuff, because again, if you've never done it, you have no clue what you're doing.
Well, we'll get a lot of gentlemen in there shaking, they're nervous, they don't even want to be there.
Sean, when I brought him in, you were gone, but I brought him in to see Scott, he was almost throwing up outside. like I didn't understand. I thought he had the flu, so I was like, what are you doing? He's like, dude, I can't. And he starts like dry heaving, and I go, get the fuck in the school. All right, we're going to start back up. Bring us back.
Ready?
Oh, all right, we're back. Welcome back from that break. God, those commercials were awesome, weren't they?
They're mostly Meyers Jewelers, so we love them.
Yeah, I love them. So what do you got to talk about jewelry now?
So we were talking about the history of the diamond and the engagement ring, but so we start in 1938. That's when the craze really started. When you get to around 1947 with movies and radio shows, they started not sponsoring shows, but they would buy time on these radio shows or give movie stars rings and all that to wear.
Oh, yeah, still do that today.
But isn't it cool that we still see it today? I mean, that's people think it's a new thing, but product placement was a bigger deal back then, because if you saw it on the screen, there was
nothing nowhere else to show it.
Yeah,
there were no TVs.
Right, there were no 30...
You couldn't see it on the radio.
Right. But by putting that out there, it became such a cultural thing, especially here in the United States. But as you're coming out of the Depression and the war, as the economy starts bouncing back, all these people who have heard this message for 9-10 years are now in a position where they're gonna give their wife or girlfriend this diamond. And if you look at it, it's still reflected in society today. If you look at, this is a terrible example, but like the Kardashians, anytime they're wearing any jewelry of any form, it goes through the roof. And how are they doing it? On Instagram. But it's boosting.
It's a different world today. Yep.
Yeah,
totally different.
But how do you educate somebody? Does anyone ever ask, do they bring you like this prominent celebrity is wearing this kind of necklace? Do you guys have it or anything like it? I mean, is that where you?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I actually had one customer. There was a movie, great movie called The Blind Side, which I'm sure I know you probably have. Rachel, maybe you have not seen that movie, The Blind Side.
I have.
Okay, she has.
I'm stunned.
Me too. But the Sandra Bullock was wearing a cross in that movie. It was a really cool, unusual, different-looking cross. It was a diamond cross, but it was like big stones. They were maybe half a carat, maybe not quite that big, third of a carat each, and they were just separate stones attached to each other in the form of a cross. Usually you see real little tiny stones lining up the cross, and they were set in what is called a bezel, which means there are no prongs. It's set into a round ring. And by ring, I mean like a circle, and the stone just sits in there. So what holds the stone in is that rim that goes around the edge of the diamond. So, excuse me, covers it up a little bit. But so you can see the distinct shape of every stone that's in there. And it was real unusual. I had someone that came in and said, I saw this cross on the movie The Blind Side. She showed me the picture because she took a snapshot of it. And I designed it because I couldn't find one anywhere. And that woman has that cross. So that was distinctly from product placement.
But it's got to help you that you can make virtually anything. If someone does see a piece, I mean, within reason, you guys can make it. And
It doesn't even have to be within reason.
Well,
We can do it. Whatever. I had a magnificent, somebody, won't go into the names, from the Blue Jackets organization, wanted a bracelet that was made out of rubies, sapphires, and diamonds, because if you think of the colors of the Blue Jackets, red, white, and blue, and wanted the logo, the Blue Jacket logo, on this bracelet, on a big bracelet. It was probably maybe 2 inches wide and it went across the entire wrist. So it was a good size, and the entire logo was made out of rubies, sapphire, and diamonds. And because wherever the blue was were sapphires, red, ruby, and wherever the white was diamonds. And it excuse me, and it is magnificent. I love it every time I see that piece. Very proud of it. But our jeweler was able to create it. So literally, she came up with an idea, no picture, no nothing, and he made it. It was great.
Somebody has to have a lot of faith that you can get that done. I mean, you've had some challenging pieces that were brought to you, not just for wedding stuff, but...
Oh, obviously that's not a wedding piece.
No.
So we actually right now, speaking of Blue Jackets, we now finally got in. We have the official Blue Jackets watch.
What's that look like?
I just got them in. I should have wore my watch. I could have showed everybody on the radio what it looked
you
like.
already have one of them?
They're in. We got in 25 of them. Ooh, look at those dogs chasing each other.
I saw the dogs and knew you were going to come.
Where's the owners? Owner's got, he's got a ball in his mouth. They're playing ball. The
Jackets watch.
Oh, yeah, I got sidetracked. The Jackets watch is there are 25 of them made, period. This has been officially approved by the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the watch had to be all officially approved by the NHL. So it is 100% all official licensed, and it's made by a company by the name of Ernst Benz. I think it's ERNSTBENZ. And they make very high grade watches. And these are all automatics, all fine Swiss movement. So it's not like a $100 watch that you would, that you'd find in every store in the world, like you see for the Ohio State watches.
You can't go to Walmart and buy something like that.
Right. This is it. First of all, the only place you can buy it is at Meyers Jewelers. And for the true Blue Jacket fan that wants a true, unique, one-of-a-kind piece, they're all numbered. Like I said, there'll be 25 made, and that's it. No more.
Good.
And the best part is if we can sell all 25, we are going to donate back. You ready?
I'm ready.
We're going to donate to the Columbus Blue Jackets Foundation. I believe it is almost $50,000.
Wow.
Yes.
That's really big.
And that will go to the Columbus Blue Jackets Foundation, which is a great charity that focuses on helping children in the Columbus community. So we're big sponsors with that. We've donated quite a few things over the years, and we're one of the sponsors of the big event that is taking place tomorrow night at Express Live. It is called the Cannonball. And that is that's the Columbus Blue Jackets Foundation biggest charity event. They usually will raise, I believe, $200,000 to $300,000 tomorrow night, and that goes towards their foundation. We're one of the sponsors for that. And last year we donated a Blue Jackets watch that we hadn't even made yet. So unfortunately, the person that won it hasn't got it yet because we just got them.
Right.
It literally took a year to get this watch produced and approved by the Blue Jackets and then the NHL. So we have them. Anybody wants to come by, take a look at them. You don't even have to buy one, just to take a look at them. They're a really unique, cool piece of jewelry for the true Blue Jacket fan.
If you can get, we would like a picture of this.
And one other thing, we made one for Dubinsky, Brandon, and it was really cool how we did it. At the 7, the watches are numbered. It has the 12. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes all the way around. Where the 7 is, we made it a 17 because that's his number.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
Well, that's going to be it for this
That's
week.
it for now. All right. Well, we talked all sorts of things. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And we will see everybody next Sunday on the radio. Thank you, and experience Meyers Jewelers.